The news day continues here on One News Now. I'm Rita Diaz. The health department is mulling new guidelines on border control. This as the whole world is alerted by the Omicron variant. To tell us more about this, we have with us this afternoon Faith Del Mundo. She's reporting to us live from Quezon City. Faith, good afternoon. Can you tell us when do we expect the new guideline to be released?
Yes, Riza, the DOH says they will release the guidelines either today or tomorrow. The department said they are still discussing the possible expansion of the travel ban in order to prevent the entry of the Omicron variant in the country. In the Laging Handa public briefing, Concurrent Health Promotion Bureau and Disease Prevention and Control Bureau, Dr. Beverly Ho emphasized the need for stricter border control. Ho said they are basing their decisions from various data gathered from other countries. The World Health Organization previously declared the Omicron variant as a variant of concern. There's a chance that it can cause severe COVID-19 infections and be more transmissible compared to the other variants. Currently, experts are determining if the Omicron variant is gravely affecting the effectivity of the vaccines. The Philippine Genome Center and the Research Institute for Tropical Medicine continue their biosurveillance activities to study and analyze the Omicron samples they have obtained. Ho reminded the public that aside from getting vaccinated, they should continue practicing minimum health protocols like social distancing, wearing a face mask, and washing their hands. Still, the DOH is hoping for merrier holidays for everyone. Riza, the DOH is also gearing up for the national vaccination days from November 29 to December 1, and they are targeting 9 million individuals, that is including minors 12 years old and above. And around 30,000 people have already volunteered for the vaccination drive. But the DOH said they still need more, and interested volunteers can sign up on the DOH website. Riza?
Thank you. That's Faith Del Mundo reporting from Quezon City. Now, Malacanang clarifies the international flights from South Africa, Namibia, and Zimbabwe are suspended despite the country's placement in the green list classification. PALA's acting spokesperson Carlo Nograles said the temporary suspension supersedes the earlier green list classification. Now, aside from South Africa, Namibia, and Zimbabwe, the government has suspended flights from Lesotho, Eswatini, and Mozambique to prevent the entry of the Omicron COVID-19 variant. Just as when hospital utilization rates start to decrease, another COVID-19 variant has just been discovered in South Africa. A virologist from Johns Hopkins University tells us what experts know of this in this video.
We know that just before Thanksgiving, it became obvious that there was, in South Africa, a new variant that had an abnormally high number of mutations across its gene, but in particular in the spike protein, which is the target for the vaccines that are being distributed globally now. What happened recently is that the South African public health officials realized that one of their PCR tests could actually serve as a surrogate for this variant. And if you use that data, it seems like this 529 variant is increasing at an incredibly fast pace across areas of South Africa and multiple provinces of South Africa. So that was the real significant piece that caused this to get on everybody's radar screen.
Do we have a sense of how much it evades the natural immunity conferred by prior infection or by some vaccine?
Just theoretically, from looking at the sequence, and you could probably see it right behind me on my desktop here, it has a number of mutations which have been predicted to evade antibody responses. Now, it has a few that are conserved, so this won't be a case of something that's completely able to evade the vaccine-induced immunity, but it has more than other variants that we've seen so far, which again, on paper, is what is concerning to us. It's a time to actually go out and do something proactive. If you haven't gotten your booster, go get your booster. If you haven't gotten your vaccine, go get your vaccine. Because by the time this variant becomes a global threat, if it does, now is the time to act to try to do something to help curb the impact of this variant. So it just serves as a reminder, we have tools, we have to use them efficiently, and if you haven't been vaccinated, now's the time to get it. If you haven't gotten your booster, now's the time to get it, to really give you the best tools to fight off this variant. Good testing coupled with sequencing allows for the detection of these variants early, and that helps us prepare for these variants. And then two, it informs the current public health interventions. As I mentioned, getting yourself vaccinated is the first thing that you can do right now. It may be that we need to reformulate a vaccine if this virus does become dominant in the world. That can be done. We have antivirals on our way that can be utilized effectively, but we have to think about these things as layered approaches to protect us from COVID-19. None of them is 100% effective, but combined approaches allow us to minimize the severity of this disease. And again, this variant is going to be another test, if it does emerge globally, of how well we can do the things that we've already learned can turn the tide on COVID-19 cases.
We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. The Comelec will postpone the deliberations on the first petition seeking to cancel the candidacy of a presidential aspirant, Bongbong Marcos. This is to give way for the poll body to tackle other motions related to the petition. Greg Gregorio with a story.
Martial law victims and other groups trooped to the Commission on Elections office to show support for the petition seeking to cancel the candidacy of presidential aspirant Bongbong Marcos. The Comelec 2nd Division conducted a preliminary conference on the plea of Christian Buenafe et al. The groups insist no Marcos should be allowed to return to power in Malacanang.
Dahil siya ay nakuha pang kumandidato bilang unang tao na mamumuno na hindi tapat, sinungaling, mandarambong, hindi siya huwaran tao.
The group campaign against the return of Marcoses to Malacanang, or Karma, also has a pending petition before the Comelec seeking to disqualify Marcos as a candidate. This petition, however, has not been raffled off yet. Both petitions raise the former senator's tax conviction as grounds to block his candidacy.
Na-convict siya dun sa tax code of the Philippines. At kapag babalikan natin yung batas, malinaw ang nakasaad doon na sino mang makonvict sa ilalim ng batas na yan ay perpetually hindi na qualified to run to any public office. Kaya yun naman yung pinanggagalingan namin.
Bayan Muna Representative Carlos Zarate was also present to show support. Zarate says Marcos's candidacy should be cancelled to leave no room for substitution, which is possible until midday of the elections.
Qualify nga si anak ng diktador ay posibleng isang anak ng diktador pa ang papalit din sa kanya.
Comelec spokesperson James Jimenez says the petition is still not up for the submission of written memoranda by both parties. This is needed before the case can be submitted for resolution.
Merong mga motions na kailangan mo nang i-resolve bago magtuloy yung kaso. So these pending incidents are the motion for intervention, dalawa, and the request for face-to-face arguments, oral arguments. We will wait until they are resolved before we give you the period for filing your memoranda.
Despite delays, the Commission says it's still possible for the on-bank to decide on the petition before December 15, the target release of the official candidates for the 2022 polls. For News 5, Greg Gregorio, we are One News.
Senator Bongo is still deciding on the fate of his presidential bid amid reports surfacing that he is considering to withdraw from the race. Go said he is still seeking guidance from the divine providence in his decision. The former presidential aide added that he does not want to burden President Duterte and their supporters. He is expected to run against former Senator Bongbong Marcos, the running mate of presidential daughter Sara Duterte. Go is the last-minute presidential candidate of the Federalismo ng Dugong Dakilang Samahan or PDDS. Let's now take a quick look at today's other top stories. President Duterte reaffirmed the country's position towards a peaceful resolution on the disputed waters in the West Philippine Sea. Speaking at the 13th Asia-Europe Meeting Summit, Duterte pointed out that the only acceptable basis for just a maritime order is the law. He added that there will be no real peace if, quote, the strong tramples on the weak. The Ethics Committee of the Philippine Sports Commission will start probing the complaints of pole vaulter EJ Obiena against the Patafa next week. Obiena's charges include alleged harassment, attempt to collude with coaches to fabricate statements, and coercing to solicit doctor-patient privilege communication. Recall that the Patafa earlier accused Obiena of not paying his coach on time. And a lone winner will take home the 378 million peso jackpot for the Ultra Lotto 658 according to PCSO. The bettor correctly guessed the 6-digit winning combination for the draw, which was 20, 17, 12, 29, 10, and 46. Now, for more updates, visit News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World Online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on Signal Play app. Register for a free account now, www.signalplay.com, and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Riza Diaz. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We are One News.